Hi students, just recall Newton's first law of motion. So, Newton's first law says about the moving objects and the objects which are at rest. Suppose in this universe, objects are moving and objects are at rest. So, they are in motion. Suppose if you apply a force on an object, now the object will move and the object will comes to rest by itself. Now here you think about how did it comes to rest? How did it comes to rest? Since we applied a force along in this direction, some force should be act opposite in direction. So the force which is acted opposite in direction, here it is friction. That the force is friction. Now according to Newton, suppose if you take according to Newton, so Newton gave its law. So this law states that a body continues to be in the state of rest or of uniform motion. It is continues to be in the state of rest or of uniform motion, and unless acted upon by an unbalanced external force. So if an object is in the state of rest or in the state of uniform motion, if there is an unbalanced force acts on object, so then only the objects comes to rest. Rest body comes to in motion or moving body comes to at rest when we applied an unbalanced force. So that tells about the Newton's first law. So this is also known as law of inertia. So from this law we can able to explain that we need to much understand about the unbalanced force. So we can take the example of tug of war at here. So if you can see, now the two teams are applying force. Now if they both are applying force equally and in opposite in direction, now their forces are balanced. Suppose if one team is started to apply more force, now the rope is moved to that particular direction. Now here the forces are unbalanced. Now if one team is left the rope, the other team is fallen. Now here we explain the concept of inertia. What is inertia? Inertia is a tendency that an object is to be at rest. Suppose here you can see this ball is at rest. It is rest due to what? Due to inertia. So what is inertia? Inertia is a natural tendency. Inertia is a natural tendency. So the ball is at rest on this supporting surface. Suppose if you remove the supporting surface, the ball will be stopped and the ball will be at rest only. Suppose if you applied a force, now the ball wants to move forever. Now the ball wants to move forever until unless if there is an external unbalanced force is present. Now this is only the law states that Newton's first law. So here we need to explain about the concept of inertia. So this inertia we defined as it's a natural tendency. It's a natural tendency. By its nature, every object having inertia. So this inertia is in three types. So first one is inertia due to rest. Second one is inertia of direction. Third one is inertia of motion. So inertia is categorized into the three categories. First one is inertia of rest, inertia of direction, and inertia of motion. So let us understand these with the examples. Now, suppose if you take a case, the bus is at rest. Now, in the bus, if I consider a passenger who is standing. Now, the bus is at rest, the person is also at rest since he is standing. So, when the bus moves, when the bus is moving in the forward direction, usually what happens? The person moves in the backward direction. If the bus moves in the forward direction, the person moves in the backward direction. Why? What is the reason? I would like to pick another color so if you can see that properly. Now, why he is moving backward? What could you guess? Now, initially the bus is at rest. Now, if you can play one more time that. Now, initially the bus is at rest. Now, the person who is standing in the bus is also at rest. But when all of a sudden bus starts to move, so we used to move backwards. The reason is that now this foot, suppose if we take that, the foot is in contact with the bus. Now the foot is at rest. Now when all of a sudden bus is moving, so here we can see to move an unbalanced force. Suppose if I can play that again. Now if you observe one more time, so the bus is moving, the person is moving backward. Now what is the reason? So the reason it is due to because of inertia of rest. So how it is explainable with the help of how it is caused inertia of rest? Now when the person is standing, closely observe, when the bus is moving, the legs are first in contact with the bus. The legs are in contact. Legs are in contact. Now, when the bus is moving, first the force is applied on our legs. But my upper body, this upper body is at rest. So, according to Newton's first law or law of inertia, an object wants to be in the state of rest. Now, here the person is standing. He wants to be in the state of rest. So, as a shorter person, if you can observe, so he wants to at rest. So, that is due to because of its natural property. That's what we call as tendency, nature. So, here the nature is inertia. Now, there is an unbalanced force. So, that unbalanced force causes to pull backwards. Now, this is another example you take it. Now, this ball is at rest. Now, this is at rest. This rests on that a cardboard, if you can take it, apply. Now, if you pull the ply, so what happens? The ball falls. Now, why the ball falls at here? Straight away it is fallen because the ball is at rest. It is fallen due to because of inertia due to rest. Let us take one more example. So this is a moving bus. A bus is moving. So it is moving on this road. Suppose when it takes a right turn, you observe the person. When we are in the bus is taking a right turn. So usually what happens? So if we can observe that, if the bus is taking a right turn, the person is moved to leftwards. I'll play that again. If the bus is moving on the road, now if you take that, if the bus is moving, the person who is standing inside the bus, so he is leaning left side. When the bus is moving in right side, it is moving, taking turn in the right side, we used to lean in the left side. Now, why it is because? It is because of inertia due to motion. How it is changes to inertia due to motion? Let me explain that first. So, when we are in a moving bus, so if we stood inside the bus and the bus is moving, it means that we also moving. So we also moving at here. So even though we are standing inside, but the bus is moving, so we also moving. So when we are moving, so if takes as a right time, so due to because of the inertia due to the motion, so we will lean to as a left side. Now let us observe few more examples. So to the same case, suppose a rotating ball. A ball is rotating with the help of a thread. So this is the ball. So this one you tied up, just like here. From the same setup, here you are looking from as a top side, top angle you are watching. Now if you can rotate the ball, and all of a sudden now the ball is taking a circular motion. Now if you can cut the ball, now if something happens, the thread is detached. The thread is detached in the case. Now if the thread is detached, where did the ball go? The ball is taking in this direction. Now it is taking in this direction. So this is due to because of inertia due to direction. So because the ball wants to move, so this direction only we termed as tangent here. Tangent direction. So these all the examples if you can say. So the another example. So when the bus is moving and it applied brakes. If it applied brakes, if the bus applied brakes, so what happens? We will move forward direction. So that we will move forward direction. So it is exactly the opposite the case. When the bus is starting, we will move backward direction. When the bus is stopping, we will move forward directions. So how it is? When the bus is moving, so we are also in motion, and all of a sudden bus starts to rest. So we will lean forward. So that is due to because of inertia due to motion. The bus motion and our person motion both are the same. The bus is moving in the same direction, so my motion is also in the same direction. All of a sudden the bus came to rest, so my feet comes to rest first. So the feet is at rest, but upper body is moving in this motion. It is moving in the forward direction. Now due to because of the inertia due to the motion, so we will comes to lean forward. So these all are the natural examples due to the three types of inertia: inertia due to rest, inertia due to motion, and inertia due to direction. Let's see all the four examples at here. If a striker hits, so these are the NCERT example. So these examples are little different what the example I have taken. The examples which I taken, so let us discuss that first. Take the second point. If a coin placed on a playing card over a tumbler is flicked with the finger. So that's the example what we discussed at here. So this is the example. If the coin is kept on the tumbler, so if we flick the card, what happens? The coin falls on the glass. So that is due to because of the inertia due to rest. So that we can highlight at here. So that is due to because of inertia due to rest. Now if you can take the another example, the second one, when we travel in a car and the driver applies the brakes suddenly. We are traveling a car, driver applies the brakes. What happens? We will lean forward. That is due to inertia due to motion. And the one more example if we take, when we are standing in a bus and the bus begins to move suddenly, move suddenly, and we will fall backwards. So that is due to because of inertia due to rest. Because we stand on the bus is initially at rest, it is not moving at all. Now the explanation is given here. Since our feet in contact with the floor and that moves forward direction, but my upper body of them is continue to be in the state of rest. So feet wants to move, upper body wants to at rest. So that causes we lean backward. Let us see this interesting example. So this is what really happens when we do not put seat belt. If you do not put seat belt, what happens? The car is at rest. Now this is the car. Now it is in motion. Now if the car is in motion, the person he is also in motion. The person is also in motion. Now it is collided with the wall. So now the car came to at rest. Now in that case the car came to at rest. Now the person is in motion but the car in rest. Since he do not have the support of the seat belt, so he will fly away. So that's what happens when we do not apply our seat belt. So all of a sudden we will move forward. So that is due to because of inertia due to motion. So other than this, if an object is rotating in a circular, suppose if an object is rotating in a circular, so if a ball is rotating in a circular, so that let me show one more demonstration.